All right, here we are, and today is day two. We're about to begin, and let me just walk you through this because this whole thing is completely different than, let's say, a traditional chop. Um, I've worked with Gene Winfield, and I learned his ways, and I know how he chops cars. So doing this one, we couldn't go that same route. What it was, if y'all see this, we dropped the roof in the front instead of dropping the windshield in the front. And when I say we dropped the roof in the front, I'm saying we probably took out 4 or 5 inches out of this roof to bring it down, make it look more natural, like a sedan. And once again, we can traditionally chop it because normally we'll take it out of here and then we just all match it up 3 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches, bring it all down, then bring it all together. On this one, it was completely different. And we ended up cutting this out and then coming back here and cutting all this out. And then all we had to do was just push it forward, and we got the lean and look that we were looking for. So I absolutely love it because it's something that's never been. I mean, there's probably some chopped ones out there. I've seen a couple real nice ones, but to just have our own style and do our own thing, it's going to be unique. It's definitely going to be a one of a kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope you guys are liking it. These guys are working great, very hard working group of guys. I'm super
What's the plan for
thankful.
today?
Today we're gonna clean it up, fill in all the gaps, and man, the way these guys are working, they might have it knocked out today. So if they do, we'll just focus on metal finishing and you know go from there. Good. Um, the one thing that I do want to go over with is this is not a traditional chop. Like when we do chops on a car, it's completely different. And when we did this, when we had to really think about it, because if we were to bring the roof down, I was afraid that the top of the roof was going to be still too big, too tall. And I didn't want that tallness to come, you know, more of an eye view. So just thinking about it, you know what I mean? Because I only really had overnight to kind of think about it, looking at the vehicle. And when I woke up that morning, I came and told Juan, I said, hey, I don't think I'm gonna cut the windshield out. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, I think if we just lowered the roof, but not the windshield, I think we would still get the same look that we're looking for. The second thing was that the windows on the sides were really tall, and the front window and back window were really short. So the goal was to try to get these side windows to match the front and rear window. And you guys did an excellent job. It looks great. When we were doing like just a traditional chop, say we're doing 3 inches, we would mark our 3 inches here and we would cut it here. We would cut the window pillar three. We would come here, take three out, and then back here and take three out, and then push everything forward. And once you do that,
Push everything forward, just like we did here, kind of.
right, right, because when you lower this down, you have to pull it to get this to meet up again. So, right, right, it changes everything. So, but we didn't do that. All we did was just cut the top of the roof and slide it forward. And I wasn't 100% sure it was going to work. We're just going to try it. And it worked out like really well. Like this looks really good. And I'm super happy with this. So I just want you to know the difference. Like if you're going to chop a car, this is not the way at all. Yeah, this is right. It's not the traditional. Not like I was trained or taught. I just want y'all to know that, this is not the way that it's normally done. Yeah, so we moved up a 5 and a 16th forward, and that's quite a bit. But you see that how big, how tall this thing was, and where it's at now. Right here, it just looks more natural. And I always loved the natural look. And I don't know if it's because I did collision for the first 10 years of my career. Maybe, I don't know. But I just love the natural look. Like it's supposed to look like that. Today, we're going to do all this inner stuff, get it all locked in. Cut this, move it over here, cut this, make it all match, and move it out a little bit. Yeah, make sure everything's good. I'll make these panels. I could wait till later once we get more caught up on doing all the inside, and I make these panels. That way I can kind of get an idea how these are made, and I don't just make them over there by myself.
Right. I would
So
say
yeah.
it's a lot of work for a person who's, possibly doing the job, doing the at home build themselves.
Hmm.
I mean, we had 10 guys on it, and we got pretty far. But I could imagine doing something like this yourself.
The job's usually about a 3-month job.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. It really is working on it every day, like say an 8 hour day. Yeah, when I was at Winfields, I was able to do a chop there, and it took me about 3 months to do it.
By
So,
yourself.
hmm
Wow.
but it came out. I mean,
Yeah, but
you
there's
know,
a lot of,
but I can sit there and focus on like nice welds and make sure metal finish it nice, and make it look natural as possible. Mark that piece, like put it back up there, mark it, and then we'll cut it, and then just kind of walk to it and get it flush with this piece. And then just cut it like right under the line and kind of creep up to it, just shave it and cut it, and it fits in there. Yeah. So I'm gonna make a template, and I'm trying to remake the shape.
Okay.
And it's got a little bead roll. Oh, I need to do a 12-inch piece. So let me come to my cutting station. Not bad. Shit, that was not bad. We're rolling with it. We may have less than 12,
Yeah.
but we'll make it work. And see, I made a long piece so you can cut it in half and have one for each side. So you see, so what Dickie's doing here, he's got all this fitting great, and as you see, it comes out just an eighth of an inch. So he's bringing it up. He's going to shave it some more. That way, this lines up exactly, and it just all naturally fits. It looks perfect. You know what I mean? It'll look like it came that way.
Very nice.
All right.
Yeah, it's good. Nice. Look at that. Getting down. Getting down. Well, you gotta follow the shadow. That's where you roll. You know what I mean? Now you have to roll back and forth on. Let me show you real quick what I'm talking about. Now you follow your shadows. You know what I mean? Like you follow the shadows, and you see that this is dark, and then the light hits up here. What you want to do is you want to roll the dark. Whatever width this is, where the roll needs to be, you need to stay inside of that line to be able to make this. And then once you make your curve, and then the rest kind of falls into place, or if you need to roll it some more, you just roll it more. You know what I mean? Let me grab one of the dies. Let's try this one. You get a die and you kind of try to match it on the inside.
Match the contour to the inside.
Right, right. And once you get one close enough, and when I mean you roll, you just go up and down right here and try not to like make you a line just big.
Trying to stay within that 6-inch radius.
Yep. Back and forth until you get this. Yep. And just follow that straight down like that. Yeah. Leave some slack.
I got it.
And you just walk it, walk it, walk it. Right. And what you're looking for is that same shadow.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You want to keep working in that and then just try it on there.
That's your God-given English wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to know how we could do that.
Let me see what we got. What we got. Yeah, I'd say this going right here. Then shrink them. I like this and I like this, just the center. Seems a little bit off.
Now, if there was a tool to make this job easier, what would it be?
Use a deep throat shrinker. You know what I mean? Because then you can grab it from in here and shrink it and pull out. And as you're shrinking it here, it's gonna pull both sides in.
Shit. Okay.
You know what I mean?
And
And then it leaves it kind of square
And then you straighten out your shrinkings with the
with the roller, right? Because it'll flatten it out in that
Gotcha.
area.
Full max and power hammer. Awesome
Or a
too.
full max and yeah, the power hammer. Yeah, you definitely could just.
Yeah.
Just don't want to mess up on the curve. And I think we should just, if it's still fitting tall, let's just shrink it on the sides here and here, and then
Roll them out.
roll them out. Yeah, because the way it's sucked in right here, it'll do the same on the sides. So hopefully we get that to curve out. Let's try this. So it's gonna be quite a bit down.
So you want to shrink around this edge right here,
Mm-hmm.
and then same on the top.
The same on the top, like from here. Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty much right here. We're starting to lift
Mm-hmm.
right in there, so like up here,
Yeah.
or a little further in.
You go further in. Yep.
We'll line that side.
Same on the other side.
Right here.
Yeah. You want to shrink it? I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Check out the other side. Let me see.
I want to cut this piece off right here. I mean, right here. Right here. I just look at this from here up.
Let me see. This is what's gonna tell us. Because really, we just need this section.
Exactly, because this is my high point, so I put my straight edge over it. I hit my high points right where they touch. When it comes up and hits right here. So this is our.
Okay. So yeah, I think you can get rid of. Let's go in here. Yeah, you can get rid of this meat right here. Because that's a lot of meat, extra meat right here. Yeah, like from here to here, just shrink this area right here. And if we need to shrink this, and then we can shrink that next. But I think you're almost there.
Okay, so I'll cut this off, shrink this.
Yeah. And then we'll try it.
All right, we didn't use the original piece. We ended up making a new piece. The old piece was way overworked. And the new piece, we just went back to the basics. Simple piece. Cut it, bent it. It worked perfectly.
Careful.
That's cool. Juan didn't want all this hair. This girl is on fire. Sorry, he's not.
It is. Let me shave that over here. Let me shave this. All right. Beautiful. Cool, cool. Let's cut this so it doesn't pull it. See right here? It's kind of catching a little bit right there.
Yeah.
We just bring the blade and it just comes straight down that way.
Just on the back side.
Yeah.
Weld her up, yeah.
That'd be good right there, yep. We're gonna weld all this up, fill in these gaps right here. And then once we do that, we'll jump to the window. Slice this through and then try to peel that.
Leave that little, I figure we'd leave that little edge of dot. We have to have give us something to weld to.
Exactly. All right, day 3. We're out here in Angleton, Texas at Dirty Leg Inc. representing. And here's where we're at. See, the back has already been welded in. We made some pieces. This is looking good. Come to the front. B pillars in. A little bit of a challenge. We had to loosen it up and move it around. But
How much did you end up taking out?
I want to say like 3.5 inches. We didn't really have a set, um, set size like we normally do. The car kind of told us how much we were going to go down. So it was a totally different situation, uh, as we spoke before, because we took nothing out of the windshield. So we took the forehead out, which is the main thing. So today we'll be working on the door windows. It's going to be kind of challenging because it's kind of a not so factory curve there, but I'm sure it's nothing we can't handle. And then I'll be up here in the front welding up this front lip. I'm gonna try to do that today so we can kind of keep it in control. And I think it should be pretty easy. So here we are. We have one piece of the door window in.
So
These
that's a new
holes.
curve that you have to get right here.
Right, right. When we put our inside piece We still have to put this piece in first. Once we put this in, it's going to let us know where this is going to go. So a couple of steps before we get too ahead. But other than that, the rear of it's looking really good. There's a lot of cleanup work, but we'll see if we can get there today. The main part is to try to get it all welded up, and we'll see how far we get. Because I thought yesterday we'd finish, but yeah, no, it's a lot of work. It really is. It looks small, doesn't look like that much work, and then you start doing it and realize that, oh crap, it's still a ton of work. So, but there we are. Hope you guys are liking it. Something different. And for you traditionalists, don't be mad. Sheet metal takes a lot of patience. It's not like welding steel, and that's where a lot of the time goes. Is you're sitting there waiting, you know what I mean, for it to cool down, so you don't warp it. But also, like if you get behind it, you like tack, 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 and then just hit it with the hammer. You don't have to hit it hard. All you want to do is just let it know, don't move on me, you know. And it'll stay, and you stay in control of it the whole time. Because right now, everything's cold and it's down, and now you have to hit it real hard in order to stretch it. Because now you have to stretch it back out. And when it's warm and hot, it's, yeah, like I barely tap it with the hammer just to let it know not to move. Because each time you hit it with the welder, it sucks it in. It pulls, you know, every time. So, and the key is to not heat up your metal. Keep it, you know, as cool as possible while you're welding. You know. Now here it's different because this is structure and there's 3, 4 lips on there. You know what I mean? It's pretty strong. So this one, you know, you can put more heat in this one, and we can't hit this one, but you can put more heat in this one, and it's not going to move because it's there's so much structure there. It doesn't allow it to move. You know. But when you have just an open skin and you're welding on it, it definitely pulls. So Juan went to go get some more wheels so we can cut this front, so we'll wait on the front till he gets back. But we can get started on the rest. I think he's still fitting it, but it'll go something like that. And then this little gap will fill the gap. You know, we won't worry about the gap. And then we'll slice it once the wheels get here. And I'll start welding up front, getting all this down. Yeah, that looks great. Hey, you're gonna shave all this lip off, right? All this extra lip is gonna come off. Okay, so yeah, you try to beat that up a little bit, and then get that one fit in there. Or if not, if it fits perfect, like yeah, tag it from in there, and then put it up here. Even if you cut it high, we'll make this fit your piece, whatever, however you cut it, and we'll make it fit there. All right, here we go. Final day, it's over. We spent 3 days out here in Angleton at Dirty Leg, and as you see, we finally got it done. So there was a lot of, you know, we winged this one, literally winged it, because there was just what I had planned in my head since November. I got here, looked at it, and it, you know, of course, it didn't work out. So now this is our final. We dropped. It was a very non-traditional chop. So we ended up dropping 3.5 inches here, which we didn't know was going to be 3.5 inches until we moved this off forward. We moved it forward 5 inches, and of course the overhang just came down, the forehead I call it, or the crown, whatever you want to call it. And I really wanted to get rid of that and make it look more natural, like it's supposed to come this way. And I think we've all hit that. Between all these guys coming in, doing some hard work, really appreciate everyone that came here. And this is the final result of 3 days of hard work when everybody comes together and makes something special happen. So, very thankful. Thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, and comment.